Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing another Swiss Cube draft. Okay, oh, I didn't know Blood Artist that's interesting. I didn't know he was in this cube. I'm pretty tempted to pick up the Natural Order. Gaia's Cradle is very strong too. Um, what I like about Natural Order, especially early, is, well, you have to design a pretty green heavy deck, but this card's pretty insane. I mean, you can actually get Progenitus, although I don't even know if Progenitus is in this cube. I admit, I did not look up the cube list and memorize it and all that nonsense, so I don't know every green creature that's in this cube, but I know of at least a few, and Woodfall Primus is always a really sick one to get. But the reason Natural Order is so good is green already has ramp, so you play a turn 1 ramp creature, and you've already got your sack fodder, and you're ramping in a Natural Order at the same time. And it's just super powerful. I love the card. I've always loved it. All right. Well, let's think about it. There's an Arbor Elf. There's an Elspeth. Elspeth's pretty awesome, but does not generate green creatures for Natural Order. There's also Mirari's Wake. Arbor Elf, I mean, is fine. It's not the most exciting second pickup. I'm almost tempted to take Garruk. The reason being is that it's green removal, which is pretty unusual. And on top of that, it also makes creatures to sack to Natural Order. It does not ramp like Arbor Elf. There's also Dismember, which is cheap removal. I think I'm just going to take the Garruk. It spits out wolves, fights things. I like it. Okay. Ooh, third pick Raphellos is an absolute gift after taking 2 green picks. There's also a Whisperwood Elemental in here, which is good. And Raphellos it is. I love me some Raphellos. So I've already got extremely powerful green cards in Raphellos and Natural Order. Great start for green. Now I just need to find an expensive green creature or 2 to ramp into, and some more ramp creatures. I say this often, but blue is usually what pairs the best with this color because of card draw and counter spells, which are just really good. Oddly enough, Ravages of War probably would be okay with ramp creatures, but not so good with Raphellos. Elves of Deep Shadow is kind of an unexciting pickup here, to be perfectly frank and honest. Overrun, not really exciting me either. I mean, it's certainly not a bad card, but maybe it's early enough where I can take it and I get like Deranged Hermit or other token. If I get a bunch of ramp creatures, I could see it being good. The reason I'm not taking Elves of Deep Shadow is I don't really like it that much as a ramp creature. I like it less than Arbor Elf, I would say, even though it, fixes for black. I don't like that it deals damage to you. I'm going to take Overrun. Not a very exciting pickup there, I admit. All right, Sylvan Caryatid's an option, and I can actually sack it to Natural Order safely. Well, it's an additional cost, so I guess I never really have to worry about that anyway. But there's also Worn Power Stone, but I would definitely prefer to have creatures that I'm ramping with since I have the Natural Order. And, yeah, Caryatid's fine. Nothing else too crazy in here. We got some fixing I wouldn't mind having either. But let's take the Caryatid. I'm okay with that. All right, Master of the Wild Hunt's actually a really great card. Deathrite Shaman. This is good with fetch lands and all sorts of other stuff. Yeah, Deathrite Shaman's a pretty awesome card. I feel like I like Master more because it spits out wolves once again. Pairs pretty nicely with Garruk, actually, since they both spit out wolves. And then it can use them to fight with. It's kind of cool, actually. And it's, once again, Garruk and Master of the Wild Hunt are probably some of the fewest creatures that are mono green damage dealers. So, very unusual that you get that effect, and I like it quite a bit. Here's our card draw. Yeah, Unflinching Courage is in this too. That's actually pretty, that's kind of awesome, actually. That's surprising. I want big Garruk, reason being, draw cards. And he spits out more creatures for Overrun. Guess I can't have both Garricks out at the same time, but let's take Garrick number 2. This Garrick is quite good. Chrome Mox. Well, Chrome Mox is free ramp, which is in fact good. My issue is we're in green, so Chrome Mox becomes a lot less useful. It still is free ramp, which lets you, you know, get 2 drops on turn 1. So technically I could play a Raphaelos on turn 1. But think of all the cards involved just to get a ramp creature out. I don't like Chrome Mox in a green deck. I like Chrome Mox in any non-green deck. I'm just going to take Rampant Growth, which continues to ramp us. Not exactly the ramp effect I want. And there is a Loxodon Warhammer too, which is a good card. One in which I like quite a bit, but I'm okay just taking a Rampant Growth. Let's see. Nothing too exciting here. I might just take the Hall of Triumph, actually. It seems like a deck where it might work pretty well if we've got token producers. Works well with these Master Wolf tokens and Planeswalkers that produce tokens. All right, Hall of Triumph it is. I'm going to try it out. Guess there was a tech edge too, but that's okay. Curse Scroll, this actually does not seem that bad since it's yet another way I'm in green and I can deal damage. I kind of like it. I think I'm going to try it. I mean, there's nothing else I'm really giving up. I just can't decide what I want my second color to be. I wanted it to be blue, but admittedly, we're not getting a ton of blue picks. Guess I could take Spear. I don't really want it, but I'll take it. All right, Spectral Procession's pretty strong. I guess I could take that. Here's a Disciple of Bolus. I could see that being good with some big green dudes. But Procession's just really strong, so I think I'm going to take that. It's not really strong in this deck, but whatever. Let's just get white cards if they're coming late. Okay, Stagger Shock's a little more exciting than Tauren Mauler, I guess. All right, so pretty successful pack 1 in terms of setting up powerful green cards. We have Raphaelos, Natural Order, Double Garrick. That's a good start for green. Jeez, Jace. Jace is so good. Jace is so good. Well, I did want to be green-blue. Yeah, Jace is like a little bit too good to pass up on, I think. In my honest opinion. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take Jace. I like Llanowar Elves and Farseek, but not as much as Jace the Mind Sculptor. Jace the Mind Humper. Well, there's a Force of Will, there's a Mystic Snake. Tarmogoyf's not very exciting in this format so much. Alright, maybe I'll just take a Force of Will. We need more blue cards to make Force of Will good, but otherwise I'm taking like a Mystic Snake, which is fine too. But the reason I like Force of Will is I'm running ramp so I can actually hardcast it sometimes. And free counterspell is just never really expected. And I've said it 1,000 times, but blue-green is where it's at. Where it's at, baby. Yeah, let's take Force of Will. It's okay. So 2 blue color-intensive cards to pair with all of our green color-intensive cards could pose a problem. We still are in need of expensive green cards to actually make our Natural Order worth something. But Crater of Behemoth would be a great one, and I know that's here. Woodfall Primus would be a great one because you can start land destructing super early, which is just great. Well, there's a Teferi, but I think I'm looking at, well, you know, actually the funny thing is Rashadan Port's probably pretty good in a creature ramp deck, but I think I would rather either play Fertile Ground or Tribe Elder, and probably a Tribe Elder since it can, well, I guess that's interesting. No, I think we still want the Tribe Elder in case I want to use a Natural Order on it or something like that. Active Aggression could actually theoretically be played in this deck, which is kind of cool. And it's kind of interesting with Garruk Relentless. If you flip it, you get to sack a creature. You steal. It's probably going a bit too deep, so I think we'll just take the Sakura Tribe Elder, which is pretty good. Okay, so there's a Kiki Jiki, which is definitely good. Cultivate, some ramp, Stomp Howler is an okay dude too. I think we actually want the Harbor here. Doesn't work very well with Rafellos, but it's going to help us fix. And we're not giving up anything too crazy for it. Cultivate's actually a fine card, but I think I would rather run this Hinterland Harbor. There's Garrick. Edric seems pretty good if I'm going green-blue. Primal Command is good. I love the Vendilion Click. I'm a big fan of that too. I think I just want this Edric though. We've already got some token creating dudes, and ramp creatures are just fine with Edric too. Turn 2 Edric off a ramp creature, and then start attacking and drawing cards. Edric's very strong. I'm going to take him. There's a Breeding Pool. There's also a Pilgrim and a Tangle Wire, which is actually good too. But I think we're going to take the Breeding Pool here. I want some... That one's particularly good because it still works with Rafellos. Escape Shift. Yeah, that's interesting. Let's take the Essence Scatter. It's also a Time Warp, which is good with all of our Planeswalkers. Why do I want an Essence Scatter? Counterspells are typically good. Maybe I do want Time Warp for this deck. If I have Planeswalkers out, it's pretty good. If I have Master out, it's pretty good. If I have Edric out, it's pretty good. Maybe this is a Time Warp deck. I'm not exactly sure. I feel like I could get use out of that. Alright, I guess we take the search for tomorrow. Still can't find a green fatty, which is really pretty weird. Let's take Farseek here. I don't know how many lands we're running yet in this deck. I still have to figure that out. Oh yeah, the beautiful thing about Farseek is I can actually find Breeding Pool with it, which is pretty awesome actually. All right, Mystic Snake it is. Mystic Snake's actually something I kind of like in general. Granted, every single blue card we have is color intensive, which could pose some issues, but Fairy versus Port. I feel like Port's going to be difficult to play in this deck only because Rafellos wants a lot of forests and these blue cards require a pretty adequate amount of blue. So I think I'm just going to take Teferi. Likely not play it, but still seems good. All right, Brainstorm's only good if I have shuffle effects. I do have Rampant Growth, Farseek, and Search for Tomorrow. That's 3 shuffle effects. Natural Order, 4. Good enough for me, I guess. We'll take the Temple. Not likely to play that. Okay, so we have 1 pack left to find a big green creature. How is it we can't find a... How have we only gotten 6 creatures? Well, I guess both Garricks count as creatures too, so it's more like 8 creatures, which is still very low. Very low creature count. So, hoping to pick up some green fatties for Natural Order out of the next pack here. Usually I never have problems finding green creatures. That seems weird that that's an issue. I mean, we have an adequate amount of ramp, which is good, but I'm going to have to figure out how many lands I want to play in this deck too. Neither of these cards matter. Escape Shift's not going to happen. There is Valakut in this format though, which is interesting, but okay. What do we got? Natural Order does not work with Frost Titan, unfortunately. Here's a Stroke of Genius, which is good with ramp. Temple of Mystery, some more fixing, which is probably pretty good. I can still ramp into a Frost Titan. Frost Titan's still a pretty awesome card. I may just want the Temple of Mystery. Like I said, we're pretty color intensive and we're likely playing blue at this point. I do like Frost Titan quite a bit though, and it's at least a fatty. But I don't like that I can't Natural Order it up. I think we're taking Tempo. We've got all these blue color intensive spells I'm going to need to cast, so alright. Chameleon Colossus, not exactly the big green creature I was thinking of. There's a Precursor Golem, which is actually pretty good with Overrun. It's decent synergy. In fact, that's like 18 damage. No, wait, is it more than that? Yeah, it's 18 damage. That's pretty good. Just on its own. Wooded Foothills, Confined Breeding Pool, and on top of that, Shuffles for Brainstorm. Maybe that is actually good enough. But I guess we're on the hunt for creatures, so maybe I do take the Precursor Golem. Yeah, we're pretty low on creatures. I guess I take Golem because it's got decent synergies with like flipping a Garruk Relentless and sacking the main one and Overrun maybe. I don't know. Where are creatures at? So Shardless Agent currently goes Farseek, Rampant Growth, Tri-Builder, Caryatid, Raphellos, Brainstorm, Curse Scroll. It's actually not bad. Maloku. Maloku might actually be something I want for this deck because spitting out birds or illusions rather, and then overrunning is a good way to win. Maloku's just good in general. Fauna Shaman finds stuff for us, but I definitely want to take a creature here. Maybe I take the Maloku. I'm short on finishers. Could take the counter spell, but for some reason just cannot find finishers. I've never first picked a natural order and been unable to find one green fatty for 3 packs. My mind is like just absolutely blown right now. I'm going to take this Maloku because I think it's a powerful card. Alright, just no idea. Here's a Grave Titan. That's going to be tough to cast with no fixing. That's a Miscalc, which at least cycles. That's a River Boa, which can walk on islands and regenerates. Totally nothing exciting here at all. Utopia Sprawl gives us some blue mana. Ramps a little bit. Not a creature. Still very short on creatures. Not really a Talran deck. River Boa can attack in. Not a very exciting card. Guess I'm going to take Utopia Sprawl because I guess more ramp while I desperately search for something to play because somehow I'm in green and blue and cannot find playables. This is so weird. Wickerbow Elder. Yeah, that's a creature. Otherwise, I can take Overgrown Battlement, which is more ramp. Maybe it blocks. No other defenders in deck. That's not true. We have Caryatid. Repeal bounces stuff, which is nice. Take the Battlement. Get some more ramp. So currently rocking 11 creatures if I'm counting Garruk's as creatures, which I probably shouldn't since that's not safe, but this has been one of the strangest cube drafts I've ever done. Like I said, I've never first picked a natural order and gone 3 packs without seeing one green giant creature, without seeing one. That is absolutely incredible. I would think that would be more difficult. That's got to be pretty rare. I can't imagine someone plucking up every green fatty and like, I just won't get ramp. I'll just pick up every fatty. I have no idea what to get here. I have absolutely no clue. There's just nothing there of interest at all. I've never seen so many packs without anything of interest to me. Harmonize. There's a card. Drawing cards is something that I like doing, so we'll take that, I guess. Coral Helm Commander, another super color intensive option that doesn't interest me. All right, guess we'll take this super late counter spell. Warden of the First Tree, which I'll never be able to level up. All right, Forbid it is. We'll take it. All right, so first pick Natural Order. Absolutely unplayable in our deck. Mind equals blown. Just first pick our most powerful card. Cannot even play our most powerful card in our deck because we just went through 3 packs without seeing one green fatty. Wow. That is... Cannot express how crazy that really is to me. All right, well, we got a Shardless Agent back. That's actually pretty good. He's still... Oh, wait, now it gets into counterspell territory. All right. Might not like it anymore. I guess it's only one card that it hits, but... Come on, we all know I'm just going to hit counterspell every time. Everyone knows. All right, we'll take our River Boa because we're, I guess, in need of actual things to play in this deck somehow. I just don't have enough playables. This deck. All right, so this deck's not very good. Let me start off by saying not a very good deck, unfortunately. And that is weird considering I have Jace the Mind Sculptor and ramp creatures. Somehow I managed to get 0 fatties. So 0 fatty deck, which is just blowing my mind. Probably don't need the Curse Scroll. Good amount of ramp. Probably get away with 16 lands just because we've got Sprawl, which ramps. Ramp, 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 ramp. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 ramp effects. That's pretty good. Unplayable Natural Order, which is just making me silently weep inside. That is so sad. Natural Order is such a powerful card. Cannot believe I could not find one green fatty. That is so sad. All right. Well, turns out every single blue spell we have minus Brainstorm is color intensive. Oh, I guess Moloku too. Let's cut Dungeon Geist. Although it is a way for green-blue to like actually interact with our opponents, it might be actually okay. I feel like it's a better card sideboard against. There's a lot of control decks in this format. So I've talked about the terrible aspects of this deck. Let's talk about what are some actual good aspects of this deck. Well, let's see if I can come up with anything. We have Jason Mind Sculptor. There, that's one good aspect of our deck. What's another good aspect of our deck? We have powerful counter spells. We have counterspell Forbid, Force of Will. That's not bad. What else is good about this deck? We have some ramp elements. We have some fixing. That's not bad. I still kind of want to do Hall of Triumph, naming green creatures, but considering, I mean, it's good. That's going to be good with Master. It's not going to be good with Precursor Golem or Moloku. Sadly, I can't cut any of my creatures. Probably not even the River Boa. This might be actually my lowest rated deck of all time. I don't want to say all time, but it does feel like this might be the lowest rated deck I've ever built. This might be God, dare I say, like 4 out of 10. That's pretty low. That is pretty low. But it might be that low. I cannot find a lot of good things about this deck. Jeez. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. This one's going to be a tough one to win with. I got to come up with some good cuts and solutions here. Maybe I don't like the Hall of Triumph. Yeah, I probably don't. I mean, what's it really good with? Some ramp creatures that have Defender. Probably not that good. How many counter spells we got total? Counter, Forbid, Mystic Snake, Force of Will. It's not bad, I guess. Probably leave the overrun in just for token chances. Even if we'd gotten one deranged hermit, I probably would have ran natural order. Jeez, it couldn't even find that. Do I want to run 16 lands? I probably do. With all this ramp, we're just going to run 16 lands, I think. 16 land plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ramp effects. So even with 16 lands, we still have 23 sources of mana. I would say that is more than enough. Actually, 24 if you count the Utopia Sprawl, which I do. Okay. Yeah, we're going to run 16 lands in this deck. We top out at 5 too, somehow. So let's make one more cut and then call it a bad deck. So let's figure out what that is. Not any of our creatures, so I guess it's one of our spells. Maybe the Time Warp's not good in our deck. It's good with our Planeswalkers. That's about it. I guess it's good with Master. Kind of good with Moloku. Tap out, but then you can't. You still have to pay to get the... I see. Card advantage is Harmonize and Edric. That's more than enough. And Garrick, where we draw cards off of our top creature power, which is 3. That is so crazy. What a crazy build. All right, Time Warp's gone. So we're going to run it like this. And this deck's 4 out of 10, and I think that's being generous. This is a very bad deck. Managed to pick green ramp with no fatties, despite hunting for fatties starting on pick 2. Could not find one green fatty. Very crazy. All right, crazy little deck we got here. So there's our 3 blue lands. We should, since with all the double blue we have, we're going to have to run. I want at least, this is only 9. This would be 8 sources of blue. I think I want at least 10 forests for Ophelos, or we're going to be in some trouble. So this is 7 sources of blue, which should be enough, especially with Utopia Sprawl, Farseek, Rampant Growth, Search for Tomorrow. In fact, I could probably pretty comfortably go down to 6 and go up to 11 sources of green. Yeah, in fact, I know that's fine, because we have Tribe-Elder, Caryatid, Search, Rampant Growth, Farseek, Utopia Sprawl. That's more than enough ways to find blue. So this is 11 forests, including the breeding pool, and 6 sources of blue still, and way more blue than that with all of our ramp. So this deck is very bad. I would rate it 4 out of 10. Don't anticipate it winning much. Not a very good deck. So we'll see how we do with a pretty poor deck in Cube. Ultimately, very disappointed with the build, and very disappointed we could not find 1 green fatty in 3 packs. It's very unusual. Okay, so we'll see you round 1.